Hey everybody, I'm going to show you today how to make a bezel template or start working with a bezel template. So in other words, if you want to create a customized design, like put text on your image, I'm going to show you how to do that. This takes time to print, so unfortunately this is only going to be for students who have finished the mandala already and also finished formatting their images for Google Slides. And if you get this done today, then I will print them for you today. So I will make a folder right here for you to add them to, and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Under Advanced, you're going to download the bezel template. So I'm going to click on that. And it looks like this. And this is something new that we've never done before. This is an Illustrator file. So if that means nothing to you, that's okay. It's just a different program we haven't worked with before. It's very similar to Photoshop. So there it is, long and square bezel. And if I double click on it, it'll automatically open it in Illustrator. So if you can see that bouncing up and down, and now I'm opening up Illustrator. And I'll show you how simple this is. Okay, so the way this works is, and everything's kind of off to the side, so I'm going to move this over. I have something on my screen called a layer right there, and currently I have one layer, and that's where my bezels are, and if I make that invisible, see, they disappear. And then I have another layer that's going to be the layer you're going to put your text on. All you have to do is go to the layer 2, and let's say you want to add some text. So I go to the type tool, and then this is important, something that's not obvious. Text has to be red and not just any red. It's got to be, you go all the way to the top and go all the way to the top. So this reads 255 red, 0 green, 0 blue, and 100% saturation, anyway, 100% brightness. So make yours look like mine. Say okay. And I'm going to grab the text, and if I start typing, currently I have my character set to Myriad Pro, so if I say hello world, I'm getting Myriad Pro type, and for some reason it didn't type it in red. That's annoying. So let me go back, double click, bring this up, go to red, come on, and that should be red. If it's not that red, it won't work, by the way. Make sure it's that red. Now, if I want to change the character, if I click on character, look at all these options. So many options. So let's say I decided I wanted, I don't know, something a little bit more, ooh. Some of you are going to have fonts that, you're going to see fonts I have that you won't have. I'm not going to explain why right now, but that's just the way it is. So I'm going to grab Lucinda Calligraphy. And I will say this, for this particular thing, what we're doing, engraving, you want to grab something that's typically blockier. In other words, like a little bit easier to read, like Cooper Black. I would not go with something like thin, like Calibri, for example, all these thin fonts. Get something that's kind of blockier, because when we engrave it, they tend not to show up if they're really light. And then I would just take this and put it in place. And if I wanted to, if I resize the font, I can move it down and make it fit. And here's why that's important. This is a cut line, so everything that's outside this cut line is going to go away. So if I want to say hello world and have the entire font be readable or legible and not cut off, I've got to fit that into that spot. And I just did. So as long as it's inside those lines, I'm good to go. So that's the first one. And, you know, if I wanted to, say, for example, take this and so, how are you? I'm just typing whatever. Oops. Go back, change that, change the color. Double click, make it red. Done. If I wanted to rotate it, I go over to the corner, and you see how I get that little kind of rotation thing, and I can just hold down the shift key and again put this in place and kind of squeeze it into the space like that. You know, so I could have a quote like that's going around the entire piece, and actually that's exactly what I did. This was based on it was like a poem that I think someone gave me. It was like something like "Let us dance in the sun." I can't remember the whole poem, but it was like something about like with flowers in her hair, and I had this pretty image of flowers, and I really like the way those two went together. So that's something to think about. So you can really personalize these. And then when you're ready to save it, and I'm not quite done with this. It looks terrible, but just to show you what to do when you're ready. File, save as. You're going to save it as your name. So silver, I'll call it, I don't know, just silver bezel, I guess. And if you save it on your computer, first of all, it's got to be an Illustrator file, but that's not good enough for me because I don't have access to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this slide under advanced, so right here, and I haven't created it yet, but I will create a folder. Oops, done. Too many things open, that's the problem here. I will create a folder on this page that you will see. It's pretty obvious, and you will be able to add your bezels to this page right here under advanced. So just look for it. I'll have I'll say save your design, and I'll put a folder here in Drive. Okay, here. So just look for that link, and then you just save it there. If you get this into me by the end of the day on Tuesday, I will print these for you. Okay?